15 minutes away from opening our grain and livestock trade on this Tuesday. Good morning, Mark Oppold, and welcome. Thanks for joining us, whether watching RFDTV. A lot of you tuning in on Rural Radio. We appreciate that. We hear from you, and great to have you along and taking us along with you as you go about your daily chores and activities in rural America. Well, we head to Illinois, and Rich Nelson joining us from Allendale as we are 15 minutes away from opening, but a lot of information. If a Tuesday, it's a Crop Progress Tuesday, Rich, and let's take a look at a general overview of around the country here, corn condition of this crop here. Now we'll get to soybean planting, but corn condition did increase a couple of percentage points from last week.
Certainly did here. We're looking at right now, in fact, a whole 68% good to excellent here. This did surpass the trade's guess here. And also, this was a good increase over the 65% from last week. Biggest issues for right now is the eastern corn belt got a chance to dry out. The crops got a chance to do a little emergence, and therefore we're seeing a little slightly improved condition. Now, as a reminder here for you guys, 68% good to excellent on corn is still behind the 72% five-year average.
Yeah. Now, looking at down the list there, the winter wheat and especially spring wheat, maybe we spend a little bit of time. The combines are rolling north, but the spring wheat at 55%. Now they lost even more ground from a week ago.
It is certainly a concern here for us. So we went from 62% last week to now a 55% good to excellent rating, which is actually a big surprise here for us. This is the lowest spring wheat rating for this particular week since 2002. And I think that's definitely quite a bit of a shock to the industry here. As far as the winter wheat conditions here, this one did drop here, going from 50% last week, now down to 49%. It is normal for conditions of fall as we go towards planting, but still maybe garnering a little interest here from the trade here on the winter wheat side as well.
I want to go across Interstate 80 as far as the corn condition. Let's just kind of start in Nebraska and head on east there. Everything looks to be a little bit higher. Well, they were. Nebraska improved 3%, Iowa 4%, Illinois 7% better, and Indiana 3% across that I-80 corridor as far as conditions.
Certainly a great point. A lot of people pointing out that we are seeing this central and north central region get a chance to get some planting done and, like we mentioned, get a chance to dry out here. Now, one thing about this whole I-80 corridor discussion is this impact in terms of this week's net drying condition, especially for the western corn belt, where for the past 2 weeks before this, rainfall ran about 2 inches shorter than normal.
Now, you see the increase in, like, say, Indiana, for example, but they're only 46% good to excellent. That's a long way from 79% in Nebraska, 77% in Iowa.
Certainly is a key concern, and it still shows we have some areas of concern right now, and for the eastern corn belt as well as the developing situation here for the west. As we're looking at these numbers, one thing which does kind of stick out to me in terms of another issue is also the Ohio region, 49% good to excellent. So Indiana and Ohio still have some hopeful good weather ahead of them to improve some of their troubling condition right now.
And we do one more look here, and that is the soybean planting. And again, you key in on those two states you just mentioned, Indiana and Ohio. Still just 25% of that crop yet to plant in those two states.
Still certainly a key issue here, and like you mentioned, on the Indiana side, 75% planted. Looks like Ohio, 74% planted. So we do have a couple laggards right now, and hopefully they'll be able to improve and make up this shortfall with this week's net drying going on.
So how do you see things opening here in about 10 minutes and through the day? Is there going to be, because of the condition, they're going to override everything and push the market a bit lower in your view?
You certainly have to argue that at least spring wheat will be able to hold its own in holding higher prices. Over on the corn and soybean side, I think maybe this 1 to 2 cent higher trade should be seen for today's discussion off the open here.
Very good. Rich, thanks for your time. As always, we'll visit with you tomorrow. We get started here at midweek.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Rich Nelson, Allendale, joining us each day to kick off the day. Take a break, come back, and visit with our friend Ed Serwin, looking at the cash cattle trade and carcass trade as well. His review is coming up.